Welcome back. It is MMA Control, and it is the last pay-per-view of the year and the last pay-per-view of the ESPN era. I am Jack Gold. That is Big Verb MMA. Last show, not for us, last show of the year, but last pay-per-view of the year for the UFC. How you feeling going into this week?
A little sad, obviously, especially after the recent news about 6 weeks after next week. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I guess I'll be a normal person and spend time with my family. Go out with society, leave the house on Saturday, actually. How about you?
Man, it'll be good. I'm not too worried about the gap. Listen, typically I'm like a crackhead itching my neck. Like, oh, when's the next UFC event? But we've got last event, the fight night everybody's forgetting about, like you said, December 13th, headlined by Royval vs. Kopp. December 20th, we've got RIF 04 in Fishers, Indiana. I'm going to that. Next week is Christmas. Next week is New Year's. We got a week off the 7th. We got a week off the 10th or whatever that week is. 17th, we're back in business. Can't say what yet, but we're back in business on the move. 24th, we got the first pay-per-view of the year. 31st, we got another one. Like, that time will fly by.
Technically not a pay-per-view.
Numbered event.
I think the first pay-per-view we'll see is probably the White House one.
Yeah, probably.
Unless they put together, because what was that? Late May, early June. June. Yeah, I think that'll probably be the first. I'll be interested to see the pricing of it. I don't think they would change it. I think it'll still be $70, $80. $20. You think so? How much you say?
$29.99. They're down to zone pricing.
Really? You think so?
I think so. I think that would make sense. Like, I think goofball autistic turkey makes a lot of silly points. But I think that's a point that he made. It's like, make the pay-per-view affordable and more people will buy the pay-per-view. You already have the subscription once a year. You're like, hey, it's $30. It's $30 to be on the White House. You get 5 cards. That's less than $10 a fight. We're paying $20 a fight right now. You put that on there. You're like, you know what? I could do $30. That's a drunk McDonald's. Boom. All of a sudden, you've got a million pay-per-view event again.
I don't think TKO Holdings will ever do such a thing because they are purely about profit these days. But I would love that. I just think if you're only doing, let's just say they do 3 pay-per-views a year, they're going to have them at $80 for sure. But let's go ahead and move on to 323. Like you said, last pay-per-view ever. Not ever.
Hey, and think about this. We were at a pay-per-view not too long ago, about 8 weeks ago, headlined by Merab Davalishvili.
Co-headlined.
We're 8 weeks later, co-headline. You know what I'm saying. Leading into this week, he's back 8 weeks later, defending his belt, going from the co-main event to the main event, both at T-Mobile, ready to rock and roll versus Peter Yan, another guy he fought in Las Vegas a couple years ago. Co-main event, Pantoja Van. How you feeling going into this card?
I think the thing I love kind of with Merab doing this, it kind of shows you that if they really want to fight a lot, the UFC will let them. And I don't know if it has to him doing like living in Vegas and being in America, because we do have a lot of outside country champions. So I don't know if that makes a big difference with travel and stuff like that. But just to see him fight this much in a year as a champion just kind of makes everyone else look bad, because everyone talks about, I want to be active, I want to fight all the time. He's doing it and saying it. You know what I mean? So
think about the freaking bag he's run up this year. 4th title defense, all title fights.
Pay-per-view points too.
Pay-per-view points, sponsorships. Like, bro got his freaking bag this year.
I don't know if it was the embedded or just an Jermaine Sterling blog, but I did notice he's got him a nice little G-Wagon now. So
that's the business LLC. You can sign that thing off.
UFC might have even just gave it to him. Shit.
I know. When's your G-Wagon coming along? You just gotta
baby.
Right off.
Shit, MMA Control on the way, baby.
No, we've got. I mean, that's gonna be awesome. Peter Yan coming back. They fought at the Virgin Hotels last time. But the fight, I love Merab. Hey, also got to flex a little bit. The champ knows who Jack Old MMA is. Me and Merab, me and the champ, we're like this. Like we are fighting this Saturday, and we are defending our title. I am very excited. I don't know if you know who I'm gonna pick, but I got to tell you, my freaking favorite flyweight in the world, Josh Van, is fighting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the most. I mean, up exciting guys right now. I love in the UFC.
I love him.
Hard not to like him, but I love Pantoja at the same time because he just kind of embodies a lot of champion stuff. Doesn't really turn down fight. He fights who the fans want to see him fight.
Fights a lot.
You know, he's fighting minimum 2 times a year, which is nice. I think honestly, he would fight more, but I think it's such a weird thing with Steve because I say that stuff about Merab. But then, you know, I do know there's a little political stuff behind it. UFC likes to save fights for certain events, just in case. I think he's been a great champion. I mean, he has all the records for flyweight. There's not much not to like about him. The story is amazing.
You know what his most impressive record is?
What's that?
Thousands of deliveries, 5-star rating on Uber Eats.
Facts. And above all, him having the most finishes, I think most submissions. He's never been finished. I love that. You know, all of his losses are decisions.
But before we give away our picks a little bit, you know, I just wanted to touch on the fight to see how we were feeling going into it. But I think we should start from the bottom of the card, heading into this.
Let's do it.
First fight of the final pay-per-view. We've got Myron Santos versus Muhammad Naimov on FanDuel. No shout outs, but that's DraftKings banned you, boy. So FanDuel is all I can see. We've got Myron Santos, Muhammad Naimov. Myron Santos minus 295, Naimov plus 220. Who you taking here?
You know, I don't really like. I mean, from a betting point of view, I don't really like Santos being that high. He definitely deserves to be the favorite, but minus 250 in his kind of fighting style, little back and forth. I think Naimov could definitely, pull off a possible decision upset, but I do think Santos probably gets it done by decision. But it's also one of the things I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset. So
see, this fight to me is Naimov or no bet. Like if you like Naimov, throw some money on the underdog. If you like Santos, hands off. Or like you said, bet by decision.
Yeah, bet Naimov by decision. I think that should be pretty good plus money for you. And it's like I said, Santos, his just style is just not for the price. And it'll probably be minus 300 by Friday.
No, I agree 100%. And next up, not our lock of the night, but I think you could just chalk it up as free money. Like our friend Kool-Aid says, if you wanted a free Italian dinner, throw $1,000 on Mansour Abdul Malik at minus 1,000 because he's beaten Antonio Tricoli this weekend.
1,000%. Mackenzie Dern she pulled like a Space Jam and just stole all this man's skills. And now he plays poker and loses to above average fighters in terrible, humiliating ways. So that's all I got to say. His best accomplishment in the UFC is dating Mackenzie Dern.
That's right. And Mansour, hey, I'm not saying me, but allegedly on Twitter, they think Mansour Abdul Malik is an FBI. He might be a rigger of betting his fights over. So if you're feeling frisky, I think this over might be a half round or a round and a half. See what you want to do. See what those odds are. Hit the over on that thing.
Scary.
Next up, a guy who I was super excited by on the Contender Series, Ivo Baranuski, the Polish power knocking out Muhammad Ali in 16 seconds. Oh my God, knocking out a dead man. But Ivo Aslan from Turkey, ass. Ivo Baranuski is going to knock him out.
I think he's a good parlay piece. I agree. I think he's going to knock him out. I think they're kind of setting him up to kind of get the train going on this guy. Got a little hype coming in this 27. And, John's on his way out. We got to replace a new Polish power. So,
hey. Legendary Polish power. He is the GOAT forever and always. You don't have to axe him out.
But let's go with the youngin, unranked coming. I think he's coming for the division. 6-0 right now. Got the power in his hands. Going against someone on a losing streak that's probably going to be cut after this fight if he gets knocked out. So I'll take the Polish power for sure.
Me too. Next up, my boy is back. We got Jalen Turner coming back from a 20-month layoff, taking on Edson Barboza. Jalen Turner is the minus 300 favorite. I think the odds are wide, but I think Turner's getting the job done.
Yeah, I think, Edson's been fighting forever, man. He's fighting great fighters still. Winning against fighters he should win against. But, I expect Jalen Turner to come healthy, mentally in a better space. And honestly, I kind of expect him to finish this in the first or second round. I think he's going to come in and try to make a statement. Edson's eye is getting worse and worse. I swear he's got a droopy. I mean, it looks like it's going to close any day now. Give me what was his nickname's the Spider, isn't it? What was Taylor Turner's name? The Tarantula. Yeah, I think he's gonna make a little comeback, make a little noise. Probably I don't think he needed to retire. He needed a mental break, man. So I don't think great odds on it, but I am excited for his return.
Bet it by finish. I don't know what those odds are, but bet it by finish. It'll probably be like minus 160.
Pretty much. I agree.
Next up, we've got Iron Chin, Chrome Dome, Marvin Vettori. I'm trying to not say this in a bad way, but as MMA Twitter would say, his base of fighting is maxing. And Bruno Ferreira, Marvin's got that iron chin. While Bruno also fights like what I just said. I don't want to repeat those bad words, but he fights like a silly guy. But he's got those nukes in his hands. So it's really the test of, will Bruno flatline Vettori in the first 7 minutes? Or is Vettori going to just ogre this guy against the fence and get a decision here? And I'm going with the slight minus money, but slight underdog at minus 108 in the pick on Bruno Ferreira.
I would have to check. I thought Marvin was the underdog earlier this week, but I'll have to double check the lines. But this is a tough one, man. I see everyone seems to be on Marvin, and I don't know whether that has to do with, his kind of contract and kind of careers on the line. You can't just keep losing. You know what I mean? He's not going to finish, though, and he's fighting just straight dogs. You know what I mean? Unfortunately,
we need another spinning elbow KO, and Bruno Ferreira is going to crack that chin.
So it's this is such a tough one because I like Bruno a lot. He's helped me make a lot of money. He's got good wins, but it just kind of feels like Marvin's maybe due. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't won since 2023. My God. This is a tough one.
On FanDuel, Marvin is minus 118 to Bruno Ferreira's minus 108.
I could kind of see Marvin sneaking a decision, but I don't know. I'm on a coin flip on this one. I don't know. I'm back and forth. I can't pick
the younger, faster, stronger guy.
But no, that's not true. Bruno is older technically than Marvin.
The fight younger. We always get called out in the comments for people saying, "Oh, older,
details, brother. The details, brother."
He's been in the UFC less than Marvin, the more explosive, less damaged fighter. I'm taking in this match.
There we go. On to the next.
My fight of the night. Now, I don't have a lock or a pick because I have no idea who's going to win this fight. But Nazim Sadikov versus Faraz Ziam is a fantastic fight. Faraz Ziam is sitting at minus 146. Nazim Sadikov is plus 114. And I'll say it publicly. I want Nazim Sadikov to win. I want Nazim Sadikov to get a knockout here. But I think Faraz Ziam's going to get the job done with grappling and maybe submission or decision.
Yeah, this is, I think this is probably from a better standpoint, and honestly, just a fighter pick standpoint, the hardest one to know who's going to win. Faraz always just finds a way to sneak these wins out. Nazim, kind of a finisher. This is going to be this is going to be a fun fight. This is honestly the best. I honestly think this is probably the best fight on the prelims, in my opinion. Skill-wise, and just not knowing who's going to come out on top of this. This is really just who shows up that night and adapts in the situation because, oh man, Zaim just, it's hard to bet against him, man. I mean, he's just been on a damn roll with some of these people. I think I'm going to go Zaim decision.
I agree. I like Ziam decision or sprinkle on the submission. Next up, we've got Macy Barber, her return versus Karine Silva. Now, this might be insensitive. Is Macy Barber going to fucking fight? Is she going to make it to the fight? Last time she went out there, she was the fucking main event. And it's time for the walkouts. Aaron Blanchfield, make your way to the cage. Makes her way to the cage. All right. And the other side of the main event, Macy Barber. Fucking crickets. Where is this girl? Having a fucking seizure in the back. Like, I don't understand. I understand putting her on the prelims here. She's a minus 180 favorite versus Karine Silva. And I think that's interesting. And with all that being said, I'm going to take Macy Barber to get the job done by decision. But I don't even know if she'll fight. Yeah, let's find out Friday.
Definitely a lot of questions with Macy. Obviously, got the boob job and stuff like that. Hasn't fought since March 2024. That's a pretty long layoff. 2 cancellations. And those 2 cancellations would have kind of gave you an idea on where she's at. A cancellation against Rose, cancellation against Aaron Blanchfield. We would have learned a lot about her as a fighter with those fights. So it is unfortunate. The thing about Silva, though, is I will say, I'll kind of compare her to almost what I'm going to say about Terrence McKinney. If you make it out of the first round with Silva, she just slows down and doesn't know what to do. And Macy's a dog. You know what I mean? She's just going to keep going. So if the dog version of Macy comes out that we know that just keeps pushing no matter how many times she gets hit, I think I'm going to have to go with probably Macy to win by decision, to be honest with you. It's very hard not to go that way. Silva, sub first round, or Barber decision. That's really the only 2 outcomes.
We were both in Chicago. Diane Barbosa damn near beat Karine Silva.
She really
damn near. And if I'm not mistaken, like, Diane Barbosa is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but she's 8-4. She's 2-2 in the UFC. She's lost to Miranda Maverick and Karine Silva. Maybe her only wins are Deanna Belbita or Inesta Caracate. Like, she's good, but not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, and like you said, the cancellations say more than I think than any of what Karine Silva has done. That Rose Namajunas and Aaron Blanchfield have turned into a girl who just went to a split decision with Diana Barbosa. I like Macy Barber, and if she wasn't Macy Barber, she'd be my lock of the night.
I'm gonna agree with you. Like I said, Barber, if she makes it out of the first round, Barber by decision. I think she's going to lose the first round. Silva's going to come out striking, doing all that. She's going to tire herself out. And Macy's just going to just dog it out to the end.
All right, next up, the second to featured prelim. We've got Chris Duncan versus Terrence McKinney. Now, everybody is taking Chris Duncan. Give me Terrence McKinney. First round submission.
Oh, Jackie boy.
Or spark knockout, but I think submission.
I think Terrence McKinney, if he, like you said, if he doesn't get this finish the first round, rough night for him.
It's going to be a rough night.
He's most likely going to get finished because he literally only wins in the first round. And if you look at all, besides his, oh no, he's like, I actually witnessed him get head kicked that first round. 2024. That was in St. Louis.
The Bonfim one? No, that was Ribovic.
No, that was Ribovic, man, where everyone thought Terrence McKinney was going to destroy him. Nah, just 30 seconds in, flatline.
And I will say, if you're a Chris Duncan guy, minus 174 money line, and I don't know if you can see on DraftKings, what's Chris Duncan by finish?
Actually, they do have it. It is minus 145.
What's Chris Duncan by submission?
Chris Duncan by decision plus 300.
Submission.
It's crazy. His money line and finish is the same odds. That should tell you everything you need to know about McKinney, because this isn't going 3 rounds. I think
what's Terrence submission?
It is only plus 380.
I love it, baby.
I'm going to follow the trend. I think I'm going to go with Chris Duncan. I mean, he's pulled off probably the most dog wins the last 3 fights. It's very hard not to go with that. And to make it past the first round with McKinney, you just got to be a dog. And he has all the dog checklist. So I think I'm going to go with Chris Duncan. I think McKinney's going to be trying to lay it on him hard that first round. It's not going to work out. And then McKinney's just going to get fucking flatlined or something in round 2.
No, I think it's going to be a submission on either side.
Okay.
Either a Chris Duncan Gilly or Terrence McKinney arm triangle or rear naked choke.
I can see that.
But in the featured prelim, another prop I'm going to have you look up in a second. We've got Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. Grant Dawson minus 235, Manuel Torres plus 180. Listen, Grant Dawson by decision here is a 95% lock. I'd say 90. There's a 5% chance this guy gets a ground and pound TKO, but there's a 5% chance Manuel Torres freaking sparks him out cold. What are the KO props for either fighter in a Dawson decision?
I think you're going to be surprised by these prop odds. So actually, the lowest prop is Grant Dawson by decision at plus 130. And Dawson by decision is plus 400.
And what was plus 130?
His submission.
What was Grant Dawson by TKO?
Plus 450.
And what was Manuel by TKO?
Plus 275.
Interesting. I like Grant Dawson here at minus 235, but like interesting fights here. It's an interesting one. It's going to be a Grant Dawson wrestle fuck.
I didn't expect those odds. Like you just said, 95% chance on a decision, plus 400. Woo-wee. That's juicy, boy. For all you cycle parlay, people, that should be screaming at you.
That's your one.
Your one right there. Oh my! Because let me look up Dawson real quick. Who the heck?
Because he has a couple TKOs and stuff, but like
Grant Dawson hasn't subbed anyone since 2022.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not.
Is the ground game on Manuel that bad? Does he get subbed a lot? Let's see.
I just don't think people know. He subbed Chris Duncan.
And honestly, his submissions, so Manuel does have 2 submission loss, but they're like weird submissions. Heel hook and knee bar. Like those are tough ones. Like everyone taps to those. You know what I mean? You get heel hook, it's a wrap.
It happens.
And
very interesting.
And just looking at like the people that did sub him, they do tons of grappling events.
Gotcha.
So interesting. So what does Vegas know? Vegas knows something. I don't like it.
Yeah, what is
I'm calling the FBI because something's fishy here. Give me Grant Dawson by decision. I definitely think, like you said, Manuel definitely has that power and opportunity to spark him. But we both know Grant's going to be going for the takedown and a lot of leg hugging. So a lot of leg hugging. So give me Grant Dawson at plus 400 decision, please and thank you.
I agree. Now, starting the pay-per-view, legendary Polish power. My daddy Jan is starting it off, dude. He's bringing us back to the unction. I've been a Bogdan Guzgov supporter. Jan Blachowicz by submission, plus 700. Lock it in. Signed, sealed, delivered. The legendary Polish power does what he wants.
Submission, huh? When was the last time he subbed somebody? Let's look.
It's been a long time, but when was the last time Volkan Oezdemir subbed somebody? When was the last time Billy Elakina had someone's back with a fully locked in rear naked choke and he didn't finish that shit? Crazy. Jan finishes that shit.
2018 to be exact.
Hey, old dog's bringing new tricks out the bag. What are we thinking?
I say
tried to submit Poetan a couple times.
Gustav was submitted in 2023
by Volkan Oezdemir, who submits no one.
That's a good point. That's a tough one. It's hard for me to look at Jan.
Blachowicz was grapple fucking Alex Pereira.
This is true. But
I'm taking Jan Blachowicz money line -142, submission +700.
I can't look away from the age 42. It disturbs me. It bothers me on all levels. I've
Bringing us
actually
back to the ocean.
I've been a Jan fan for many times. I've bet on him and lost on him many times, minus the Alex Pereira fight. I knew Alex Pereira on that one. But tough one. I think this is going to be the make or break fight for him for sure. Because if he loses this, and I mean, he's losing to straight animal. I mean, Carlos Arberg, Alex Pereira, he's not losing the bums by any means. So I think this is going to be interesting. I'm leaning a little bit more towards decision. I feel like that's a casual pick at the same time. I want to go with Jan too. I think he's due for a win. I think the youngin's going to come. He's not even young. He's 33, but he's not 42. I think I'm going to roll with you. I think I'm going to go Jan, but I think I'm going to take decision and not submission. Let's look up the odds on that real quick. It is Jan is +225 by decision. I think those are great odds. Sheerly for the fact that he took Carlos and Alex Pereira to decision. 3 rounds. If he could take Carlos's punches, I think he's going to be able to eat this guy. So
yeah, I think
just my thoughts. So give me the old vet to make one more run on a winning streak. Never give him the title, obviously, because the boogeyman is at the top. But give me the old man by decision.
The only person to ever not be finished by Pereira at light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz.
Because he was terrified to get hit by him. It just tried to... Terrified.
I was there. That was a good fight.
It was a good fight and very close. Probably Alex's closest fight to date. I wasn't sure who was getting that when that decision was coming. But let's go Jan decision. I'll roll with you.
All right, next up, we've got Henry Cejudo's retirement match versus Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot's -265, Henry's +200. I think we're going to make this one nice, sweet, and simple. Peyton Talbot is free money tonight.
Big lock. I don't know the prop I would want to bet on. I want to say decision.
No prop.
But
the chalk.
But I just got this weird feeling that Henry's just going to dive for this and have his girlfriend put $10K on Talbot by this knockout or something so he can retire, stop fighting, and like just enjoy the podcast life, enjoy the weekend wrestling camps that you're hosting, and please, brother, just get out of fighting, please. You retired during your prime. It's been ugly since, and the game has just changed, unfortunately, for him.
I agree. Next up, we'll get into it later, but my goat, my Mexican poopy, my La Chocona, my Brandon Moreno, +104 versus Tatsuro Taira, -132. I think his time is coming to an end. He's been able to fend off these contenders for so long, but I think Taira's the guy. I don't think he's going to submit him, but I think it's going to be a dominant decision grapple fest.
The thing about Brandon Moreno, these guys who join the UFC so young, you feel like they're so old because you've been watching them for so long. But he's only 31, man. About to be 32 here in a month. But it's hard to go against Taira. He's improving. He looks better every time we see him. You know, the Brandon Royale fight, definitely a wake-up call, I think, for him. Brandon was just on it that night, too. He looked great that night. I think I'm gonna have to go Tatsuro. I don't think this is gonna be one of those fights he finishes. I do think Brandon's gonna be able to defend some of the jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I think this is gonna be one of those decisions, but Brandon's a dog also, so you can never count him out. He really pushes people to the edge. He can take the damage, obviously, if we've seen in these championship fights, but Tatsuro's just been on a run, and honestly, if he wins, I think he's probably the next title fight.
I agree 100%. We're both going Taira. A lot of agreements today. Have we had one disagreement? We've had Santos, we've had Mansour, we've had Iwo, we've had Jalen Turner. Oh, that's right. We got Bruno Fajea. We've got Ferocium. We've got Macy Barber. We've got Harrison Chris. That's the one different. Grant Dawson, Jan Blachowicz, Peyton Talbot, Tatsuro Taira. In as much as I want for this co-main event, Alex Pantoja, minus 265 versus my sweet Asian Pookie, Josh Van. I think we're staying the same on this one again. Alessandro Pantoja, I think, subs Josh Van in 2.
Ooh, in 2. Interesting. I do think he eventually gets a sub. It's so tough because Pantoja, it's like every time you kind of know how he fights, he just comes out a little different. You know what I mean? Let me look up real quick. Last fight.
The biggest thing I think with Pantoja is like, I feel like we don't know if his last 3 fights are just like, oh my God, is he that good? Or are his opponents dog shit?
Well, it's pretty much the whole top 5, so I feel like it says more about the division than him. You know what I mean? I will say the Kai, not Kai France, but the other Kai, Asakara.
I think Kai France, that's a gimme. I think Kai Asakura, that's a gimme. I think Steve Erceg, we've seen him go on a bad run lately. Erceg almost had him. Brandon Royval, great fight, but Pantoja had him. Brandon Moreno, great fight, super close. Is it a matter of we just need someone to be able to stay on the feet and beat him? Or Pantoja's that good? I am leaning on the fact that Pantoja is that good.
I think he's that good.
But man, imagine Josh Van defends the takedowns and starts piecing him up on the feet, because if it stays on the feet, Josh Van's going to beat his ass.
So I think he's going to be able to defend a takedown or 2. But you kind of and it's not the same level by any means, but you kind of got to associate Pantoja with kind of that Merab style where it's just relentless. Constant going forward, straight dog, hit him, okay, he hits you back and then shoots for a takedown. And a lot of times these guys aren't really getting up. You know what I mean? That jiu-jitsu is so strong. He's not a wrestling-based fighter, so he doesn't really have big takedowns. He's kind of catching you off guard. He's getting a punch in and then sneaking behind you and stuff, trips, throws and stuff. It's not like he's like double legging people or anything like that. I think he will get Joshua Van down.
I don't know. I think Pantoja is just a march forward kind of guy, but Vegas is very confident in a Pantoja sub. He goes Pantoja sub plus 150, Pantoja points plus 300, Josh Van points plus 460, Josh Van KO plus 500.
And I mean, if you want to do like MMA math, I mean, I felt like Pantoja dominated, really. I don't want to say dominated, but kind of overall was really winning that Brandon Royale fight. That was 2 years ago. So you can't bet against him, because even if he's not going to, I mean, I don't want to jinx him and say he can't get finished, but obviously he hasn't been finished for a reason. And he's going against straight strikers, and he's taking the hits. He's gone to the wars. I think the confidence is at his all-time high, and you got a youngin coming in that should excite him. I think this is probably the fight he's the most excited for. So I expect him to be the most prepared for it as well. So, yeah, I don't think this goes to decision. I think the first 2 rounds are going to be rough for Joshua. It's going to be a lot of striking, a lot of ups and downs. I think he'll defend a takedown or 2, but I think Pantoja's just going to find a way, and you're going to sneak in that sub. I want to say 3rd round. So I think it's going to be kind of like the Kara France fight, and I think this will go to about 3 rounds, and then you'll see the Pantoja like fully take over.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's got it, like he's just like, he's that guy. Like he's just, it's bad for me to say it like that because it's not like analytical or anything like that, but he's really fucking good. And Josh Van is really good, but I think this is going to be an Alessandro Pantoja masterclass.
I think so as well. Pantoja by sub, easy money, plus 150 right now.
Plus 150 right now?
Yep.
Easy money, free money. Main event time. The champion knows who we are. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Piotr Yan for the 2nd time. And Man, I think it's gonna be a good one. Like,
I'm actually very excited for this fight. I think if you're an MMA fan, you're a fan of Peter Yan. I don't know how you can't like his fighting style. He's got like an aura about him. It's like a super serious aura, but he's not some huge guy or anything. He's just that, I don't know. He's got that dominant Russian feeling. You know what I mean? He talks, you listen. And I don't know if you've ever seen that video of him at the press conference where he snaps and everyone stops talking.
Вы же видели с ним в команде.
But he just has an aura about him that is hard not to like. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. It's kind of one of those fights where, both people could win. But obviously, Merab hates Peter Yan. I don't know if he still feels that way, but he definitely felt that way the first fight. So the big question is, how much has Peter Yan improved on the takedown defense? Because the thing, like with Merab, and like I guess with these fights he'll continue to have, there's tons of film on Merab. He's going 5 rounds, and he's going to decisions a lot, minus the Sean O'Malley fight. So I mean, you can watch the film on this guy and kind of get an idea, but he is improving. The striking's getting better fight by fight. The cardio is just insane. And it's hard to bet against that, man. He basically outstruck Corey Sandhagen, which is crazy to me.
He's closer to knocking Corey out than Peter did.
Yeah, so I got to go Merab. And I don't even want to say I want to see Peter win, but I hate to see Peter lose. But if there was somebody to defeat him, I wouldn't mind it being Peter Yan. As weird as that sounds.
Listen, the champion is going to submit Peter Yan. The champion is going to finish him. He's going to show him who the best was. If you remember, everybody's talking, Peter Yan didn't have a right hand in the first fight. Peter Yan didn't have a right hand in the first fight. Hey, neither did Merab. Merab had a broken right hand too. So imagine we get two-handed fighters this time. Is Merab going to be able to get the takedowns? I think so. Is Merab going to shoot 50? I don't think so. But I think Merab is going to make it look easy.
I agree. It's going to be a great main event. I mean, honestly, Merab's last few fights have been, as much as people give him shit for, they're fun fights. They used to give him shit for the decisions and stuff, but he's having fun fights. He's joking with people in the ring. It's a good time, and it's fun to watch. Me and you watched Corey. Him and Corey, that was a great fight. And if anything, Corey was the one kind of holding back a little bit. You know what I mean?
That was the only decision of that main card. And let me tell you, I had a fun time during that decision because Merab was just chasing him. Oh, buddy, where you going? Where you going? He's the man.
Yeah, I agree. But I think I'm going to have to go Merab. I'm back and forth on the prop. We saw Merab take Peter Yan down a ton, and he didn't get the submission. So it's hard for me to feel confident about the submit. Let me see what's decision right now. Let me look it up real quick. Oh my God. Merab by decision is minus 250. Insane. Minus 250 by decision is crazy. But your submission's plus 800. So it's worth a sprinkle.
I agree. Also, money line, dude. Money line, Pantoja, Merab, Talbot all together. Throw them together. Plus money. Gotta be.
I like it. I like it. Honestly,
let's see.
If we want to be honest and greedy, favorites for the whole main card.
Let's see if we're honest and greedy with that.
And if you don't want to be too greedy, take off Yan. But Talbot, Tahira, Pantoja, and Merab, that's not.
Yeah, if you want to put on Yan, it's plus 581. If you don't want to do it, it's plus 300 on the dot.
Which is great money still. Great money. So, me and you were both talking before this card. It feels like a big favorite card. We don't say that often.
And only one difference on the whole thing. You and me we're locked in, dialed in.
Yep. There's definitely like I said, I think if there's any upset, it's going to be the first fight of the night. I know you were big on Bruno. Bruno is technically an underdog. It's very even, but he's technically an underdog. And possibly, just because me and you both were kind of back and forth, Nazim could definitely pull off a decision upset or something like that. Other from that, big favorite card. pretty excited for it. I think it's a great way for the UFC to end the year. Everyone can cancel their ESPN subscription. There's no need for it anymore. They're a terrible network. And I can't wait for Paramount Plus. I think it's going to be a great, and I will sing from the top of the mountains at paying $19 a month and not $70. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for Saturday.
I'm excited too. And I think that does it for MMA Control. I am Jack Gold MMA. That has been Big Verb. And we're ready for the last ESPN pay-per-view, UFC 323. Let's go.
See you next week. Bum, bum, bum.